I wanted to take some time to also talk about when to use it. So when does it even make sense to use change tracking? Because it doesn't apply in every scenario. There are tables that we would not recommend setting up change tracking on, and there are ones where we would. So let's start with when to do it. So here's 3 categories that we hear about really common scenarios using change tracking. So e-commerce. So when you're trying to integrate a web shop or a marketplace with your ERP, you may have a large product catalog. So maybe you sell thousands of items and you want to make sure that you keep the web shop up to date with everything that's happening. So most web-based systems such as Shopify or BigCommerce are going to limit you on how much data you can push in a day, in an hour, in a minute. And we want to make sure that we're respecting those limitations. So by tracking for changes and only pushing modified data, we're going to get a very efficient integration, pushing up pricing changes, inventory updates, modifications to a customer address, whatever it is that you need, but we're not pushing up any more data than we need to. So this is going to give us the best performance and allow us to really respect the limits of those systems that we're integrating with. Master data management. So this is the scenario that I just showed with syncing that data to Salesforce. Say you have internal systems and you may have your CRM system or your ERP as the system of record, and you want to make sure that changes are reflected everywhere. So if a customer's address or the primary billing contact is updated, we want to make sure that all of the other systems are aware of that and can take action on it. That's where master data management is important. We could also use this to just update Business Central to Business Central. So we have some customers, particularly here in Europe, where they have multiple Business Central environments. Maybe you have completely separate deployments or companies for different localizations, regions, countries, and we want to sync changes between them. So if you create an item, you might want to be able to sell that item in any company that you have. So we can take that data and filter it down to every other company that you have. Or if you have multiple different types of ERP, maybe some regions are still on Nav on-premise, or they're using BC on-premise, or they have Dynamics GP, we can take updates from Business Central and push it down to any other ERP that they're using. So we can really manage your data and push that to as many different systems as you need based on a single activity, based on a single change that's made. So there's a lot of systems here that fit into the category. This master data management is probably the reason that most of our customers are using it. They have, they want that one change that happens in their ERP to filter down into every other application that they use. The final one is data warehousing. So if you've done a data warehousing project or a larger reporting project, you're familiar with the different methods that data can be exported. It can either be data replication, where you take an entire table and you copy that over to the target system, and then you delete what's already there and copy it over again the next day. These are typically going to have higher costs because we're moving around so much data, and they're going to be difficult to get real-time data because it takes so long to do full data replication. So with this SmartConnect change tracking approach, we're going to only send the deltas, the changes, the incremental differences between the data from Business Central to your data warehouse tool. So this is going to allow us to back up that data incrementally, so only when it's changed. And then if for some reason something failed to reach your warehouse, we would be able to just keep retrying and have all of that built in. A really powerful feature here is the deletes. So one of the big reasons that a lot of analytics specialists are going to do full table replication and delete and rewrite entire tables is it can be difficult to track those deletes. How do you know when something has changed? You have to know at the time that it's deleted that something was deleted. So because Smart Connect is completely embedded in Business Central, we can track those deletes and handle deletes seamlessly without needing to do full table replication. So in order to make things work efficiently, that's why we're doing it here. So some examples would be SQL servers, data lakes, or just anything that needs to get into Power BI a little bit faster. Leveraging the data warehouse strategy powered by change tracking can give you a lot of flexibility to work with it. So I don't have a slide here. I feel like I should have on the other side. So the times where you wouldn't use change tracking, and that's going to be really for the data that doesn't change. If we think about Business Central, there's certain tables that are fairly static, such as the ledger tables and the history tables. We don't want to track every single change that happens to those records. Instead, we only want to push them to a data warehouse or to another system incrementally as they change. So by only tracking that data that is newly created, we don't need to have a complex change trigger setup. We can just say, give me all records posted today. So it's a lot simpler. You're gonna get better performance, and tracking those tables can slow down the posting procedure. So we don't want to track ledger tables unless absolutely necessary. But for most ongoing integration scenarios, they fit into one of these three buckets, and you'll be able to really see improved performance with change tracking.